Aha.
Hey, did you bring your book?
Which?
Your book.
No, of course, I
You
forgot
don't pitch
again.
that thing, man.
No, I
Jesus,
realized.
I pitch it more than you.
There I was in Boston, and I thought, oh, crap.
We ready?
Yep.
Yes,
Let's
go.
do this.
Do it.
Good morning. I'm David from Better Step. Everyone knows that addiction is a huge problem, but what not everyone knows is that approximately 70% of patients who complete the full rehab program return back to drugs, so experience relapse within 1 year. This is happening mostly because of the poor post-rehab care. And each relapse costed a family on average from 25 to 55,000 combined legal and medical fees. So our idea and solution is to monitor patients with TechWare and to track their HRV, heart rate variability, sleep, and other stress biomarkers, and to see if the relapse will happen and intervene before it happens. But this is not just an idea. We already gathered domain experts. We raised over 170K internally. We made memorandum with over 70 clinics in Eastern Europe, from which we got more than 1,500 pre-orders. And this, even though our MVP will be ready in about 3 months. We are also working on a defensible patent of algorithm of relapse prediction. So how does it work? The clinic makes the patient install our application. Then the patient connects existing techware, such as Apple Watch, Whoop, Garmin, Oura Ring, etc., to our software. We track their biomarkers, and when the biomarkers show risk, we contact whatever they choose, clinic, psychologist, trusted person, or AI, because sometimes they don't want to interact with human beings. So why now? Addiction pandemic is sadly booming. Recent studies have proven a very strong correlation between heart rate variability and relapse prediction. TechWare is becoming more and more popular, making it much easier to track large amount of people. And this industry shockingly remains hugely underserved, even in the first world countries. The main difference between us and competitors is that we are the only ones who are focusing on biomarkers so heavily, at least for this stage. Our plan is to start from Georgia, Latvia, and Ukraine. This is where our existing network of rehabilitation center is, where we got our pre-orders from. Then we start in United States directly, state of New Hampshire, and then the rest of the states. So why us? Our team has years of experience in rehabilitation business. One of our co-founders also owns a rehab center. We have years of experience in software development. I myself had a startup and had a small exit as well. We have 2 PhD scientists working on the project who have more than 25 years of experience each. And it also has some personal importance for us, since sadly some of our family members have been lost to addiction. So what we ask from you is the grant, the guidance, and international networks, both with the clinics as well as the scientists. And with your help, hopefully we can make rehabilitation process proactive instead of reactive. Thank you very much, and I'm ready to answer your questions.
Oh, just in time. Well done.
Nice job. And you came in right on time. Nice job.
That's right.
Can you go back to the pricing slide? It's a freemium model, right?
We have 2 models. One is freemium, and the second one is $20 subscription.
Yeah.
The reason behind this is because we want to train our machine learning algorithm as much as possible to see because we take 2 factors, physiological and psychological. So these are both. Psychologically, it's like small surveys inside the application that patients get every day or every week. And to see the correlation and to make the correlation algorithm better, we want as much data as possible. That's why we included freemium model. But the pre-orders are paid.
Okay. And is your plan to focus kind of directly on getting individual consumers or to work through clinics?
Very
or
good
both?
question. Thank you for asking that. No, we are thinking on working like this.
I see.
So it's clinics and rehabs,
Yeah, great.
individual providers as well, such as psychotherapists and psychologists, institutional, and in the United States we already have negotiations with one of the largest NGOs, Easter Seals. They have approximately 1 million patients per year, from which approximately 200K have addiction problem. And institutionals are huge, and non-clinical as well. And the reason behind this is because if the patient didn't go through a rehab process, and if they're physiologically are not clean, it will be very hard for us to help them. So it will be a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah.
They have to be fully physiologically in withdrawal, and we step in when the psychological withdrawal comes in.
Got it. Thank you.
Could you talk a little bit more about the competition and the alternatives? Is no one else, it was quick. Okay, so no one else is using wearables as part of a patient monitoring.
So not a startup that is on the market. We've done,
Okay.
so we've tried to do a thorough research. So there are on the market the applications that are popular and that work.
Yeah.
These behavioral applications are, none of them are connected to the wearables, but several university projects and programs connect tech wearable with the addiction recovery. But these, at this stage, they are not on-market startups. One startup from Pittsburgh tried to do it in 2018, and they didn't manage to do it. I also, when I was in San Francisco, I also found an investor of one of such startups, and eventually they didn't make it. He didn't share with me the details why, but yeah, this is so far what we know. I also know that the Whoop and Oura Ring are also partnering up with the clinics, but the problem is
that's Whoop,
That's
right?
Whoop, yes.
Okay.
We test our application, which is now in beta mode. We test it on Whoop, Oura Ring, Apple Watch, and other smartwatches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, I mean, so what are where is your IP in this? Have you discovered or developed unique algorithms based on research that nobody else knows about in terms of, these biomarkers, et cetera?
Sure. So there are two things where we think that our strength lies. One is definitely the team, because the scientists that we have behind it and the easiness in Georgia to test it on patients. For example, the program that we are developing, this relapse program, we have already enrolled with the Georgian Narcological Center, which is a government organization, and we can start testing on patients on 250 patients right away in 2 months, which is very hard to do in other countries, let's say. The second one is that we hope for network effect, so we hope to step in first, grab the land, get as many data as possible, and make our algorithms work better. This is the second one. And third one is that, I don't know why, but nobody has digitalized the psychological rehabilitation program fully onto applications. So there are,
Wait, but there are digital apps for monitoring digital health, right? I mean...
Yes, but addiction recovery is very, very specific. Very niche. Even the therapy, it's like general therapy and addiction therapy. And some why addiction therapy is not digitalized that way, which is why we are working with the director of Narcological Center in Georgia to fully digitalize the whole process. So basically, if patient, for example, goes 3 months to the therapy, but they do not have enough money because it costs a lot, just the rehab costs $7,000 per month approximately, they can use our application instead.
So, and the scope of your definition of addiction is drugs and alcohol?
Thank you.
Where's the scope?
Thank you very much for that question. We are trying to focus on opioid addiction in the beginning.
Specifically?
Because it is the hardest. That's why. It has the hardest effect on the physiology. But what we learned so far with our PhDs and also with Tazo, who is our co-founder and also founder one of the rehabilitation centers, is that in the center, they have addicts in gaming, pornography, opioid, alcohol, and even though different substances or behavior addiction affects physiology different way, the psychological phenomena is the same. So the way it works psychologically is that if a person has poor emotional regulation, then he's more prone to not be able to reject his dark desires. And what we track with biomarkers like heart rate variability and sleep is if a person will have a bad emotional regulation next day. So if the risk of relapse increases. And there are 2 levels to this. I know I'm going to in more details, but I think it will be interesting. So one is when you sleep, it's your overall heart rate variability, which detects what kind of emotional regulation you will have the next day. Also, it's very important for the sportsmen. They track their performance by this. And the second one is short-term heart rate variability. Short-term heart rate variability is if during a day, throughout a day, I saw a cue. It's always something cue. A friend.
It's a reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
And if my heart starts to beat irregularly, this means that there was some kind of emotional cue for me. And so my emotional regulation is now getting under risk. And that's
Okay.
when we ring alarm.
So if you are falling in love, you're at risk? Is that what you're saying? No, I'm kidding. Okay, but no, so it's funny, we were talking about this sort of at
This morning,
breakfast.
yeah.
About obsessive behavior is, you know, sort of one of the pathways, I guess, to addiction. Is that fair? But, okay, so back to the IP. So where you are now is you're saying you have these indications that these biomarkers are relevant. You haven't enough data yet. You don't have enough data to distinguish between opioid and whatever, any other drugs and alcohol and then other obsessive behaviors. That's what you're saying. But the hope is, the vision here is that you're going to get more and more data that's going to give you more and more opportunity to design interventions.
Very true.
That's the idea.
And I would
Okay.
also add one detail, one short, small detail, that we do not try to distinguish that strongly between alcohol or opioid.
Yeah.
Because what we care if a person has poor emotion regulation or not.
Yeah.
This is our main goal. Because sadly, if a person has one addiction, mostly from our experience, we saw that they have several addictions combined.
Yeah.
And our goal is not to see if a person now wants to smoke weed, let's say,
Yeah.
or gamble,
Yeah.
but more of if he can control his emotions well,
Okay.
and if he's remaining in self-control.
So is there an opportunity to apply this to politicians?
That's a good question.
Okay, sorry.
I hope so.
Okay, economics.
Actually,
Okay, economics. So tell us a little bit more about, you know, okay.
Sadly, we have only expected economics. I had a slide, but this is a different version of a presentation. I know that you love the unit economics. I can tell you it by heart just because I remember. There are 3 types of unit economics that we expect. So first of all, the pre-orders that we did, it was due to our partner who has already existing network, and it was like 1, 2, 3 calls, which is why it will not be logical to think, oh, it costs us $10 or something like. It will be non-realistic. Realistically, what we have researched, there are 3 types of directions. This is B2C, which is like the latest stage. We are not going to B2C in the beginning.
Okay.
Most probably it will be $50 USD per user acquiring and 240, which is annual service, lifetime value. This is our expectation of B2C, very poor. There is B2B, which is approximately $1,000 to $500 per client, customer acquisition cost.
Get a clinic, for example.
Clinic,
right?
a small
Okay.
clinic that has maybe 4 batches of 20 clients, which means 80 clients, which is approximately $20,000 income annually. And there is huge B2I, B2 institutional, which we are working in New Hampshire and other states, which is hundreds of thousands of clients. It costs mostly $10,000 to $15,000 to acquire such a client, and then the annual revenue would be $250K.
Okay. Really
But so far,
Yeah.
just to add, because I had call just yesterday with this, so far it didn't cost us $10,000. So far, the demand is huge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the only thing that we are worried about, are we going to manage to make the algorithm work as well as
yeah,
we want?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice job.
So the word